Now, let's talk about some of the other news in regards to BHP Billiton. It says it's reached an impasse with unions and it's time Queensland coal workers have their say. The mining giant says a coal workers' balance will take place in late April. 3,500 BHP workers started fresh strikes overnight after discussions on working conditions broke down. The unionised workers from 7 coal mines in the Bowen Basin went on strike at 6 p.m. The ongoing dispute started mid-last year when employees began rolling work stoppages. A union rep says the current strike is in response to management going back on deals they had previously agreed to. Shares in BHP Billiton up 10 cents at the moment. Now, joining us from our Brisbane studio to discuss the situation is the Queensland District President of the CFMEU Mining and Energy Division, Stephen Smyth. Look, Mr. Smyth, thanks very much for your time. I thought we might start with what exactly is it that has triggered these strikes that we saw kick off last night?
We had an agreed principle with BHP in relation to rosters and hours of work. They've come back to us yesterday and have actually moved away from that agreement we had, which dates back about 6 months. So that was one of the triggers that have led us to have our members walk off the job.
And in regards to the changes to the rosters, I mean, what are you seeking for your members?
As I said, we had an agreement that any rosters or start and finish times will be done as it currently has been since about '98, in agreement with the majority of the workers affected by those changes. That was agreed to by BHP and ourselves late last year. They've come back and said now that that no longer suits them. They now want the ability to both introduce changes to hours of work, start and finish times, and without any agreement of the workers, and at whatever decision they make will stick.
So where to from here? I mean, how long do you see these strikes potentially lasting?
At this stage, we've got all 7 mines on strike till Saturday day shift. We have a meeting with all our representatives and our local reps from each of the mines on Friday in Mackay. And then next week we'll be rolling out mass meetings to our members to actually take back the company's position. In the last report back meetings, we actually told the blokes that the company had agreed with our views on the rosters and hours of work, and now we've got to go back and tell them the company stepped away from that agreement.
Now, from what I understand, BHP Billiton wants to put it to the workers themselves. They want to hold a ballot in April. Will you be supporting that?
Certainly won't be. We won't be supporting the agreement in its current form. You know, other than the 2 matters they stepped away from yesterday, we still have a list of outstanding matters. So we'll be instructing our members, or informing our members, that we don't support the agreement, and we'd expect them not to support it. It'll be a reduction in entitlements and conditions for those workers.
But what if they do? I mean, what if you get a large proportion of them to say, actually, you know what, I'm looking through the detail and I kind of like it, I want to go with it. Would you respect their opinions and agree in principle?
Sorry, at the end of the day, the workers are the ones that work under the agreement. If they believe it's a good deal, then they're the ones that have got to work under it for the term of it. And we would obviously sit back and look at where it gets to at that stage, but we're quite confident that our members will not support the agreement in its current form.
Do you worry that some viewers and other people reading about the strikes may struggle to have, a degree of sympathy because, they look at the level of pay, if you like, that a lot of people in the resources sector are afforded, and it's quite a lot bigger than the national average, if you like?
Yeah, obviously this dispute's not about money. It's about entitlements and conditions. It's about improving the standards of accommodation in those mining communities. It's about ensuring that workers get their fair share of the huge profit that BHP have made and continue to make on the back of these workers. So it's got nothing to do with money. Our focus is on the entitlements and conditions and a decent deal for all our members and their families. But
BHP in Rio and a lot of the big miners that operate here in Australia will point to the fact that Australian workers enjoy some of the best conditions, the best pay out of any peer sort of resource sectors around the world.
That's correct, and obviously they get the best workers and the most profitable mines. They have the greatest safety records, so it goes hand in hand. Our workers deliver for those companies, so all we want in turn is a little bit back. That's all we're asking for.
This dispute's been going on in one shape or another for about 15 months. It's, at times been quite an acrimonious dispute. Is this more than just about the members in the Bowen Basin and so forth? There's a little bit more potentially about the unions and trying to cement a place, a period of influence, if you like, a power grab within the mining sector?
We've always had in coal in Queensland, we've always been heavily unionised, so from our perspective, it's just about going about business. I think the question needs to be asked to BHP in light of what happened yesterday. Do they really want an agreement? Obviously, when we made some slight progress, they've now come and taken that away and actually have put us back a lot further than what we were. So, from our perspective, we've always been heavily unionised. We continue to do well in the coal industry, and at the end of the day, it's probably a question BHP needs to answer about where they're going with all this.
All right, Mr. Smyth, do appreciate your time today. Thanks very much.
Thank you.